Do you know which country has the most people who speak English? If you guessed the United States of America, you're wrong. Or if you said Britain, you're also wrong. The country with the most English speakers is India. This includes native speakers and those who speak it proficiently. India is home to the second largest population of English speakers in the world, second only to the United States. But why do so many Indians speak English? Is it because they love the language? Not really. Is it because they admire British culture? Not really. Is it because they want to get ahead in life? Yes, partly. This is not by choice nor by chance. It is the legacy of an empire that rewired a continent. In this episode of Gravitas Plus, we will show you how the British Raj made English a part of India, not just as a language, but as a system of class, control, and cultural domination. How did English become such an integral part of Indian society? Why did Indians embrace it wholeheartedly? And what does it mean for them today? We'll answer all these questions for you. Hello and welcome to the show. This is London. Look around you. All these people are speaking English. They may be from different parts of the world, from different cultures, but they're all communicating in the same language, English. You talk about anything from fashion to football, from climate change to pop culture. All these topics are universal, but their common thread is English. Now, imagine you are a 23-year-old woman. Living in London in the year 1867, your father works in the British government, your mother is an English woman, you've lived in India for more than 2 decades, but you've never learned Hindi or Bengali. What is your mother tongue, English? You belong to the British elite in India, but you identify yourself as Indian. Which nationality are you? British or Indian? Neither. You're Eurasian. You're someone of mixed European and Asian descent. At the time, such women were called Anglo-Indians. Today, they're called Eurasians. This was the British Raj. For over 2 centuries, the British had colonized a large part of the Indian subcontinent. They ruled over 300 million people. Today, 1.4 billion people live in independent India. That is why the numbers make sense. In the year 1834, the British East India Company drafted a minute. It was written by Thomas Babington, the second Baron Macaulay. He was a British statesman and historian. This minute was addressed to the British Parliament. It talked about the state of education in India. It laid out the plan to replace traditional education with modern education. Now, what was modern education? Was the Western style of learning? It included subjects like mathematics, science, history, literature, geography. But there was one problem. All these subjects were taught in English. The Macaulay Minute said that the object of this minute is to promote the study of the English language among the natives of India. Do you see a problem here? The minute talks about replacing traditional education with modern education, civilizing the natives, teaching them subjects that the West had mastered. In fact, it says that the English language is the vehicle of Western knowledge. It goes on to say, a single shelf of a good European library was worth the whole native literature of India and Arabia. This minute laid the foundation of the English language in India. It helped set up schools and colleges across the subcontinent. It promoted the use of English in courts and government offices. Slowly, English became the language of the elite. It was the language of the British and the Indians who aligned themselves with the British. After the Sepoy Mutiny of 1857, the British Crown took over the affairs of the East India Company. Queen Victoria declared that India is to be the empire's jewel in the crown. English became the language of the Raj. People began to use it in business transactions. The British introduced English newspapers, English courts, English schools, English jobs. Those who spoke English got better access to power, to money, to social mobility. This was how the British Raj made English the language of opportunity. The late 19th century saw the rise of English education in India. More and more Indians began learning the language. Some wanted to work in government offices. Others wanted to trade in the growing Indian businesses. Soon, English became synonymous with development, with progress. This perception continues till today. In the early 20th century, Rabindranath Tagore opened the doors of his university to students from all over the world. He believed that a global perspective was essential to his idea of education. In his university, students were encouraged to learn multiple languages. There was no compulsion to learn English, but students picked it up anyway. Why? Because they wanted to experience the world outside Bengal. They wanted to connect with people beyond India. Then came Mahatma Gandhi. He led the freedom movement against the British Raj. He was a firm believer in the power of education, but Mahatma Gandhi did not support Western education. He started his own schools. He promoted traditional education, but he could not stop the tide. Western education, including English, was already popular in most parts of the country. In 1947, when India got independence, English was the language of the government. The Constituent Assembly debated a lot before choosing Hindi as the official language of the new nation. But English was given a special status. It was made an official language too, along with Hindi. Article 343 of the Indian Constitution says, "Until Hindi is so far as may be, the English language shall continue to be used for the purpose of the Union." This article gave legitimacy to the use of English. It allowed Indians to communicate with each other in English. It also gave them an identity, created a class of educated Indians who could communicate with the West. Today, English is one of the official languages of India. It is spoken in courts and government offices. It is used to conduct business in most parts of the country. It is the language of the corporate world, of the advertising world, of the publishing world. India got its independence 75 years ago, yet the numbers make it seem like the British Raj never ended. 75 years after independence, Indians are still working on becoming fluent in English. It is still the language of opportunity, even though India has its own opportunities. 75 years after independence, Indians still prefer English to Hindi. Even Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks in English during important international addresses. He often uses Hindi idioms while speaking in English. But most government announcements and public appearances are made in English. India is also one of the largest producers of English content in the world. Most young Indians speak English at home, with parents speaking in English to their children. Why does India speak English so well? There are several reasons for this. 1. There's a huge demand for English speakers. Call centers, BPOs, KPOs employ thousands of Indians to speak to clients abroad. These clients are mostly Americans and Europeans. They need Indian professionals to fix their computers, their telephones. They need Indian professionals to book their travel, to send them flowers, to deliver their food. When they call customer care numbers, they want to speak to Indians who can understand their accent, who can reply in proper sentences, who can make them feel at ease. That's why you find so many Indians working in call centers. Reason no. 2. India needs foreign investment. To attract investors from abroad, India must ensure that it offers skilled human resources. Investors want assurance that they will not face communication barriers, so they hire English-speaking Indians. And when Indians speak perfect English, they are hired more often. This creates a cycle. More Indians speak English, so they are hired more often. Because they are hired more often, more Indians learn English. Reason no. 3. India needs English teachers. India has one of the largest English-speaking populations in the world, but it also has one of the largest populations of English teachers. They teach students from all over the world. They go to homes and teach children from Gulf countries. They take up jobs abroad to teach English. English teachers are among the most sought-after professionals in India. Reason number 4. India has a software hub. It is among the top 3 exporters of software and IT services in the world. Bengaluru alone has thousands of startups and tech companies. They need professionals who can work with the West. They need people who can develop apps and software for American clients. They need people who can work on coding. Software engineers and coders are paid very well. They are hired for prestigious projects. Salaries are high. The competition is cutthroat. And if you want to win that competition, you must speak perfect English. All these factors have contributed to the popularity of English in India. It is the language of the Indian elite. It is the language of Bollywood. It is the language of big business. It is the language of India's foreign policy. It is the language of the Indian middle class. But why does India still speak English so well when most of them hate the British? Why does India still speak in a language that reminds them of slavery? Think of it this way. Suppose you live in a village. Your house is locked with an English lock. You don't like the British, but you need to enter your house. So what will you use? An English key? Your neighbor also has an English lock. His house is similar to yours. He also needs to enter his home. So what will he use? Again, an English key. Your entire village has English locks. Everyone wants to enter their home. So everyone uses an English key. The villagers do not like the British, but they have no option. They must use the English key. Something similar happened in India. The British Raj was based on divide and rule. The British separated Indians on the basis of religion, language, caste, class, and when they left behind an educated elite, an elite that knew English. This elite formed the connecting link between India and the West. It made it easier for India to integrate with the Western world. It made it easier for India to trade with the West, to learn from the West. So think of English as that key again. It helps open the doors of opportunity for millions of Indians. It gives them access to education, to employment, to information. Yes, English is a colonial language. It is a reminder of slavery. But today, English is also a tool of empowerment.